Hey, what's going on, Z Nation? Zaid here, ZSPN. And today, guys, we have a lot to talk about as it concerns Avery Bradley opting out of playing in the 2019 and 2020 resuming of the regular season. I just want to give you guys my thoughts and my opinions about the reasoning behind it and some candidates in mind that the Lakers are going to consider signing as the replacement of Avery Bradley. And I just want to give you guys my thoughts and my opinions about this particular breaking news report. And without further ado, guys, let's just get right into it. So guys, according to Woj from ESPN on Twitter, he basically broke the news out there that Avery Bradley is opting out the NBA restarting of the regular season 2019 and 2020 season. Now, with my understanding, the reason behind him opting out of the resuming of the regular season is because of his family reasoning. I mean, because of the whole COVID-19 still being around and the second cycle is coming, and you know, guys, this virus is not going anywhere. So it's still around, and it's just slowly, you know, some places are being open and some businesses are being open, but you know, the virus is still out there, the fear is still out there, and Avery Bradley is just focusing on his family, and it's rightfully, respectfully so, because you know, nothing is more important than family. So at the end of the day, Avery Bradley is focusing on his children. I believe his main focus, I think, was his 6-year-old son. So it's just, I will give you guys the right exact reasoning of, I just gave you guys the gist of it, but this is the exact reasoning of why he is doing it, because of his family and for his children. So it was not all because of him opting out because of the social injustice, where some people are also thinking that that's the reason why Avery Bradley is considering opting out or not playing due to the social injustice in this country. But you know, it can go either way. Honestly, I'm just going to take the word from reporters and himself because of it. So I wish him and his family the best of health, and hopefully things go well for him and just moving forward. So with that, you know, it's obviously a seat. There's a seat open for the Lakers roster because of Avery Bradley opting out. So right away, there's reports that came in from Woj and from other news outlets out there that J.R. Smith, it is the leading candidate to replace Avery Bradley on the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, some of you might agree with this, some of you might disagree. Me personally, I always knew that J.R. Smith will play some sort of role of coming back to the NBA and playing alongside LeBron James on the Los Angeles Lakers. For many months before even the COVID-19 epidemic came into effect, that J.R. Smith was always in the conversation of joining the Los Angeles Lakers. There was no doubt in my mind that J.R. Smith was in the conversation of joining the Los Angeles Lakers, to the point that he's been working out for the Los Angeles Lakers since you know, when the Lakers basically released Boogie Cousins, because they wanted to make some room for some roster moves and to improve the team, which, by the way, they got players like Markieff Morris. And then before, you know, the NBA's suspension, they also, most people even forgot that they signed Dion Waiters. So the guy still hasn't played a single game for the Los Angeles Lakers yet. So he's still in the effects of showing what he has in his arsenal to compete with the Los Angeles Lakers for a potential title run this season. So Waiters is in the conversation as well. But when you have J.R. Smith in the mix, it kind of tells you that, the Lakers are looking for someone of a similarity of what they have on their team, like an Avery Bradley, who somehow has the ability to be a great replacement for Avery Bradley, and that is J.R. Smith. And guys, he has been working out with the Los Angeles Lakers even before the COVID-19 came into effect. So, he's always been in the conversations, and it's kind of fitting that if he does sign with the Los Angeles Lakers, it's kind of a redemption for him of what he basically did when it came to facing the Warriors, in that all-time epic fail that we witnessed during the finals from the Cavaliers versus the Warriors. I believe it was in 2017. I mean, it was a long time ago. It wasn't really that long time ago, but it felt like it was a long time ago. So, just seeing that sort of debacle that J.R. Smith did, I can honestly say when he has the opportunity to play in the NBA now, because he hasn't played in the NBA probably since 2018. So it kind of shows that he has a better feel for himself, and he just has the opportunity to basically redeem himself, similar to a Dwight Howard situation, but for him it's more important than ever for him to come back to the NBA and playing on an NBA team. And what better way for him to do so is with the Los Angeles Lakers, alongside his former teammate in LeBron James and alongside Anthony Davis. You never know. He could have the ability to, let it up, but it still remains to be seen if somehow, he still has the ability to still play the game. But, guys, this is just rumors, but, the Lakers are strong contenders for signing J.R. Smith. But, there's other players in mind that the Lakers might consider as well. That's still in the conversation. As we all know this by now, if you guys haven't followed recent reports and probably in the beginning of the day, Boogie Cousins has decided not to play on any NBA teams this season because maybe he just wants to work on his rehab more instead of going right away, and maybe possibly, God forbid, something does happen to him that if he does return, maybe another injury occurs. He just wants to be on the safe side, and I think that's rightfully so for him to make sure that his rehab is on schedule, and just making sure that he's not just 100% but 110%, if you will. So Boogie Cousins is not part of the conversation to sign with not just the Los Angeles Lakers, but other teams who are, several teams were interested in Boogie Cousins. So at that time, once he, opted not to play in the 2019-2020 season, it's just, changes things now. And then you have some other players like I mentioned in my past videos ago, there's still Iman Shumpert, who is a defensive type of guard that you can also rely on when it comes to playing great defense on an NBA team. And he's sure he lacks the offensive ability, like shooting and stuff. But, if you're looking for a defensive type of player, Iman Shumpert is the type of guy that you could really have on your team to rely on. So that's somebody in mind. There's multiple players in mind that are still free agents in this market that somehow, if the Lakers do need to somehow, have a sort of, a player that can obviously build a huge role as what Avery Bradley did with the Los Angeles Lakers, that's still somebody in mind that they can obviously look for. But as of right now, just to recap, Avery Bradley opted out of the NBA 2019-2020 resuming of the season, and the Lakers are basically looking for a replacement for him, and J.R. Smith is on the top of that list for a potential signee for the Los Angeles Lakers because of with him working out for the Los Angeles Lakers for the past couple of months and couple of weeks, before, the COVID-19 was in effect. And, obviously they signed Dion Waiters, but, J.R. Smith was always in the background looking in for a potential, roster spot for the Los Angeles Lakers if somehow any sort of player was either injured, or with this predicament with Avery Bradley, who did not want to play in the 2019-2020 season. So that's the main reasoning behind all this. And, guys, I won't be mad if somehow the Lakers do decide to sign J.R. Smith, because I always thought that J.R. Smith has enough basketball in him to really compete for a championship team in the Los Angeles Lakers. And, if he can still shoot, if he can still defend and be the same J.R. Smith that we saw during his times with the Cleveland Cavaliers back in 2015, who can shoot and who can defend, or if somehow with his workouts and his motivation, we could possibly see a J.R. Smith, that the New York Knicks J.R. Smith back in 2013, I believe. So, and I can honestly say we cannot see a J.R. Smith that we once saw from during his times with the Denver Nuggets, because, guys, seeing him play as a Denver Nugget, he was just one of the best six men, in my opinion, that the Denver Nuggets ever had, in my opinion. So, and he was just somebody that it was like a fan favorite at that time. So still remains to be seen. He's on the top of the list for the Lakers to replace, but you never know, things might change. The Lakers might look at somebody else, but still remains to be seen about that. And hopefully, things go well moving forward when it comes to finding a replacement for Avery Bradley. So, guys, please comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel, share my videos all over Facebook, Twitter, all the good social media stuff. And, guys, please give me your thoughts about Avery Bradley opting out the NBA 2019-2020 resuming of the season. Do you guys think it's well, I don't think it's really an opinion, really, because he's doing it for, obvious reasons, and that is the protection of his family. So that's obviously nothing to argue about. But, if somehow, the Lakers do decide to pick J.R. Smith, who do you guys think about that? I mean, do you guys agree with it? Disagree with it? Do you think they should sign somebody else? Maybe Iman Shumpert, a Jamal Crawford, or is there somebody else that I can't really think off the top of my head that could be a good replacement for Avery Bradley? Because, he was one of those type of guys that really helped out the Lakers once he signed with them in the offseason before the 2019-2020 season. So there's a lot of players in mind that the Lakers can look at, but so far J.R. Smith is in the top priority for potential signee for the Los Angeles Lakers. And if some news come out for anybody to be signed to replace Avery Bradley, like always, I'll deliver to you guys on this channel about any sort of update, speculations about the Los Angeles Lakers moving forward at this, breaking news. So, guys, please comment down below, like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers. Stay safe out there. Take it easy.